ato ame magia cheme na medamo akuche kumeana sani ahe ameye council sajine eje shishikeje wo ni la ne na himejia abo mieti yino be 2015 sajine jenshin matino jenshin 2014 sajine ni o ma jenshin keje mati abonasi Matino be na to me 2013 ni akeo anna Paramount epoje no na wo yo mo ni arrestore no be yegbejian no to na sani akuchi acheme dani amebaye mu ye mlagbe fan ke magian acheme afi kusu nke ha me no cancel ma wo loketi akuchi ami ni akwe kuni atonu hegbejiano ye ni bo sekle we onupai mami wolo akeshin be chuchu akucho chese kwelo ni wo jile niji anu odamtin se kwelo ni wo akangbegbe ni afi kusun ke hanle mbacha ame ni yepe emi nka ma ke o ni mba leji moni mba nina ni enye akuchu enye ni cancel ekele chun ni ameke o kwese ke han chuchu akuchu che ni ji Captain Tayo Odamtin she say kwelo ni amefen le hu ameje shin akomi wo gbe egbe ni afi kusun ke hanle ni nka ma ke o shin asani shin wokweko ni akwebo ni abamo na ati achon sani ake minke minpa numwa no Odamtin ni achon sani ni wo akuchu lawyer ni dani ma che pe eke mi na yue mu ni nke la ke mi ma ya le jalegbe no ni a che pe atana bole sani etwa mi shi ma mi wolo ta fla che ni behin no poto ni jenke hin meji gbe me gboyin ni jiwo julo yaku ma criminal syndicate julo aku ni wo pe oye duji anshin keni okay akucho lawyer kesan le ba o ya damu afan no bo himeji anra fe se wo ke atashini akula sanie kula mu mi wo ba pe e ku ye kon ni adu ye anu Odamtin ye ke bi ye ameba je na me lomu no choni himeji ke amenjile ye se kwemo bo na amejile je ikete court isama was brought to ikanye court enumo eten ake contempt aya wo wochu nke himeji ate fan agbe na ameyefo ekokura jeje ke amete ama yi amalo dase ni kele jeje bote nibi ami ojugba kun enu na me pa agbe e ba fi ke han sanjin ayefe atan ameyefo bemi ni acheme ke wu cancel ete court akeshin lehun council member ni shin achela omi court ke court be na kan hewale ake ba ni achele ke wu cancel shin akesan eshile ike yin gazette ni yin me ni kesan eshile ke tun gbe papa no ike na gazette no isani awu achafu energy ngati isani ni wo yue dan ake nonite no ngati ye amale mofitemu ke monabu amale eji nonite no ye pe ati atoyin na yue le koklo mofitemu ji a yue ni bi ke shinke himeji no na ke criminal syndicate ni wo pe o eduji anshike ni bi ni bemi himeji wo pe o ye he ni sani wo pe ye ni ye fe yele bo ni wo pe o ke han moko epe edujianshi ni himbeji ni yo ngati ye amehiche himbeji ni talanko no amehiche na amenye jalese me boni ke criminal syndicate nyele ni bi ni amefi bemi ni nyeka ameshina nyele boni akuchuwe yale ake abonye noho mayu eni bi fi o ye ngati abunasi Zenith College ngati ike ha himeji nyele noho gas filling stations ni yo nukupa no ngati ike ha abonye noho La Beach Towers no na amani epense na anya amachukakadan ngati ike ha ameke enye noho agbene wo trust bejiano to no ni sanding matiana banyele chain homes keje bemi na afa chain homes ne abonya amane eku no ni matie na emi shimene me ke wo monji criminal syndicate ame ke woji criminal syndicate ni bi ekoku me yin ke nseje me magbala mi akuchi ekoku me ne ehwe abese no ajo kan franwe na ke sande shimo na atowe akeshin jele eyo eja ko kan fran we no ehye drase lomowe bi ke mona ka atowe le hunje le eyo shin lomowe bi ni yo leshin ofro sonwe bi ke mona atowe jele shin amenu e sha ma me yo meni kesani ete ne shin fe ake ni aje ko fe la Shikitele le fi o ngati no nko seklewe bi keba nje ngati mo ne shin nje ko ne aduwe jo seklewe abese nje of men o kan fran we eje leshin nje of frozen we drase nje lomowe no te balete na ke ni ade ko fe ji moni fi oni biye ni tamoboni yue sanjin eje shikeje ni ko bi tete chulu yino ni kansele ke na de machine ke sana fe no nija me ni ke yo je fe amefa amefo anu ake sana fe no nija ni wo lawyer sa wo lo eye o dase ake wo ke afe no nija si wonye mla gbejiano to se wo pe eko na te ke Regional House of Chiefs manche onupa eko wo council bi ameye o dase akeshin kenuko wo fe wo gbenpan mo aketun ni niji wo take collective decision no ke magian cheme ni yo council e yo dase ake wo take collective decision mine wo sana aka akeshin la Shikitele ni aje ku fe legimoni ifio no na afio ibemi nkokoko nyena hei ni sanjin eje ni yewo gbejiano to na mla ke kusun gbejiano to wo ke tuni no ke ubaba kansele sani gbejiano to aja ye kusun ke mla gbeno ahie mi me ko menu ame wonshin ame ke sanjin ete court sanjin ye court olo ni ame jeno se na mete amani na Regional House of Chiefs bi ke ministry ya ke shibe wo me ni wo yo council wo ni wo sumo ni wo ba he ame chewo wo gbela ni bi ame ke twon ame Regional House bi no na me ke eji akeshin ake National House of Chiefs ewo akpoku akeshin ke atomoko ni sane mo hepu sani ahile wo ke wonto owulu ni yo ne hodase eja ake manche yeli mla jino ni aketo hegbejiano no no fe no ni abafe alo na ne fe na de na abafa sane ke mla akpagbe no wo ke no ni Regional House of Chiefs say ke won to won na ye wolo hin ke ba shi wo shitamo ne na kan wolo e bako shi mo anma wo wolo akeshin wo he me enyo ke wo council ma na kan e wolo ko ni mo fe mo anu no na menma wo
religious affairs. Honorable Stephen Asamoah Adam, Ministry on Tuesday, 29 July 2024, in relation to the admission of Abese Adontim Manche, brackets Nikwado Gopon, and Mati Abunase Manche, near Dewine second. Nime have therefore been directed by the Ministry and Regional House of Chiefs as supervisory body over the Traditional Council to request you as a matter of urgency to admit the said two chiefs into the Traditional Council whilst the case pending before the court are pursued. This decision was arrived at the interest of justice and peace of the traditional area. We wish to make it clear that the Traditional Council is a statutory body which have representatives from the various divisions within the traditional area. So pending the final determination of any matter before the law court or judicial committee of the Traditional Council, no one has the legal rights to stampede any chief from being registered or admitted into a Traditional Council. Your cooperation in this regard is deeply appreciated.
Na meke wo he meke wo council ni wo ke gbejiano to kusun ke mla gbejiano to na meke National House of Chiefs ewo akpo alo ha directive akeke sane ye mokoye ahimo ni wo ke wo ntu wo na ye wolo hin wolo ni ameke bane ni kenye kwa wolo sanjin eye akuche short ya mi ngati drase ke leshin ke mene abese ni jihejwe shin amegma akeshin ahe me enyope wole susumo ni ameke yue na kan ni ko kwe ame letter ami amegma akeshin the decision was arrived at the interest of justice and peace of la traditional area ke ake justice jalesani ni jalesani ayole boni sanaya le ni afan fe anu ame wonshin no kesane ye ake afan fe shina shin akwe hekomepe ni kenye kwe tan ni nye ba aka ake in the interest of justice ngati abo na se bi ke mambi kenye kwe ene jaleni ni amengma woloe boni wogbala ni bi ami nke chon ame wo ke ne mlasani wo ke wo mla wolo nkweloi ni ji wo lawyers gba isani na meke o ene na agba ye mla agbefan wo amengma amewolo mahani wo lawyers a wolo akane no hu ke chon
9th August 2024 ene lawyers so by needing the Traditional Council lawyers I'm tell you and co. Again, the registrar, Mr. Accra Regional House of Chiefs, Dodoa. Yes, readmission of chiefs into the Traditional Council. We act as lawyers for the Traditional Council and write upon its instructions. Your letter dated 6 August 2024 has been received by the Traditional Council and same has been referred to us with instructions to respond to same. Our client notes your direction to the Traditional Council, that is the council, requesting the council to admit Nikwado Gopon and Yadibwai into the Traditional Council as a matter of urgency. And whilst the case pending before court, the cases are pending before court are pursued. First of all, the council is certain that in addressing the council and its eminent chiefs, you elected to use words to suggest that either the council or its chiefs purport to stampede any chief from being registered or admitted. Our clients find this negative assertion being made before the establishment of any such facts as quite unfortunate, especially coming from the institutions whose objective ought to be to promote, defend, and advance the institution of chieftaincy in Ghana. Our client instructs us to say that the Traditional Council wishes to respond to say that all of its actions have been in accordance with due process and recognition of the rights of all persons connected with the subject matter. The Council wishes to draw the attention of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs and indeed the Ministry that there are two cases connected with the Abese Quarter and the admission or otherwise of Nikwado Grouping. The first is a petition pending before the Judicial Committee of the Traditional Council contesting the status of Nikwado Grouping as a chief. The second is the matter Mandel's application regarding whether or not the Traditional Council ought to admit Nikwado Grouping, having regard to circumstances. While the decision has been rendered by the High Court in this matter, there is indeed an appeal and a motion for stay of execution of the decision pending appeal. In the circumstances, it is not possible to proceed to admit the said Nikwado Grouping without disregarding, or running contrary to the subsisting application for stay of execution, and by extension, disrespecting the authority of the Court of Appeal. The Traditional Council cannot, as if a said motion for stay of execution does not exist at all. A copy of the motion for stay of execution hereto annexed for ease of reference. To the extent that the courts are in the process of examining the issue brought before it of whether or not Nikwado Grouping ought to be admitted to the council, it is important, and in accordance with respect for the authority of the court, that nothing be done whose effect will be to prejudice the determination of the matter or to render the outcome of the court process negative. Any such action, urgent or otherwise, shall constitute contempt of the Honorable Court with grave consequences. It is therefore out of due respect for the Court of Appeal and the regard for the court process that the Traditional Council remains unable to accede to the request to admit Nikwado Grouping as a matter of urgency. Similar incidents underpin the inability of the Traditional Council to admit Niadebwa into the Traditional Council. It is our client's instruction that as with the case of Nikwado Grouping, the status of Niadebwa as a chief has been challenged by way of a petition filed at the Traditional Council. Rather than pursue, defend, and conclude the petition, he elected to resort to the court for redress. He sought the relief of an order against the council to admit him. The High Court declined to grant him the relief he sought, and the suit was promptly thrown out. A copy of the ruling of the High Court here is here to annex for ease of reference. Ultimately, the Traditional Council is constrained to respect the authority of the courts, particularly the Superior Court before which the issues referred to in your letter are pending. The Council has avoided making any pronouncements on the status of the persons mentioned above, and have not done anything to prejudice the outcome of the petitions filed before the Judicial Committee and the Council, or before any of the Superior Courts pending the determination of the relevant issues. Chaos and anarchy is certain to result should any other course of action be taken rather than follow through with the court cases. We therefore wish to bring the above facts to your attention as the basis for any actions or inactions for the Traditional Council. The Traditional Council has always acted in respect of the processes of the Superior Court and continue to do so in present circumstances. We count on your usual cooperation. Honorable Minister, the Registrar, Traditional Council.
Lawyer say, Noni amengmane. Shinfen se ake ni aje kufe la Shikitele leji mone fio ni epene na yengbe ami na fitingbe. Nyefen nye nunoni lawyer say ameke mla ni kansele wofe noko ne ibabala ake won fimu kuse. Shi woke mla bejiano to chuni. she ne fe se anano na ke ni aje ko fe ji money fio me nyo na chi ameta wo lawyer se chon sanjin ni yo ame le akeshi sanjin ake ni aje ko fe ni ke shi ame lo nyenu no kuna kan shi ahiengbe ami ye ministry ke regional house of chiefs na ke mi ni mpene na fi noni sanafi ni ekeno ya ketu injola abala shinyenna wolo yese ke noni achon na fi e na agba ye mla gbejiano to na mete no po ameke ka fi e ba fi contempt ni noni hewo ni wo ke afi noni ja lumoyeli alo mancheyeli e tomboni nke kusun kemla ni mla eton moniji manche ni ke moko ka atole ni saniye achon gbegiano to no na ke boti omi na ke shi saniye na ke shile eja lo eja dani amana shi alo awon no ake mo manchejila lo je manchejile no mahani akani mla noni chon moniji manche koni mo fe mo anunshi.
The Republic of Ghana, Chieftaincy Act 2008, Act 759, Lichon Mancheto Bediano. 57, definition of a chief. A chief is a person who, hailing from the appropriate family and lineage, has been validly nominated, elected, or selected, and installed, and skinned or installed as a chief or queen mother in accordance with the relevant customary law and usage. 2, a person does not qualify as a chief if that person has been convicted of high treason, high crime, or for an offense involving the security of the state, fraud, dishonesty, or moral turpitude. A chief shall not take part in active party politics, and a chief wishing to do so or seeking election to parliament shall abdicate the stool or skin. 4, despite subsection 3 and subject to the Constitution, a chief may be appointed to any public office for which the chief is otherwise qualified. 5, a person shall not be considered to be a chief for the performance of a function under this act or any other enactment unless the person has been registered for the performance of that function in the National Register of Chiefs, and that person's name has been published in the Chieftaincy Act.
Be sani eje topan ni ayi o mancheyemi alo weku na ayi o mancheyemi ni afanle yegbejiano to no ni ameno mi na gbene atole ye kusun gbejiano to na mahani akane nokwo eko nke hanye ye wo kojolo wulu nema ni ji Justice Broby ni ewulu the law of chieftaincy in Ghana ofa ene kandimo
Kankano ke what the 1992 Constitution Act 277 and Act 759 subsection 57 1 requires of the candidate to be a chief are that he must, in accordance with the customary law and usage, A, qualified to be a chief, B, have been nominated as a chief, C, have been elected or selected as a chief, and D, have been installed and skinned or installed as a chief. But as stated already, all 4 essentials need to be satisfied in every given case before the installation of a chief will be valid. The installation will be invalid if one of these is not satisfied. This was the view taken by the Supreme Court in Akenten II versus Ayerema Supra. Another authority for this view is in Re Kwabensto Kakari versus Abebu II Supra. In that case, installation was held to be contrary to customary law and practice, and in nullity and nullity in that it was performed without the consent and concurrence of the relevant section of the family.
Ma mla no mi ni achi wo mla ni fefe ni ji wo constitution le hunta ni noni ameke ji noni ha ni nibi ni ha ni meyo emu dani amechon maji acheme sani fe aja ke kome po eja ye mi no na fe eye mu ma kanija meko ameke as stated already, all four essentials need to be satisfied in every given case before the installation of a chief will be valid. As stated already, all four essentials need to be satisfied in every given case before the installation of a chief will be valid. The installation will be invalid if one of these is not satisfied. Nibi ni ha ni mu yuemu dani chomanche ke kume akoje wekumi wekuni yeomi afambu amanomi atoboye kusungbejiano to no ke nibi ye ke ekome ku eja emi ono eyemu ni Supreme Court emanomi ni majale mieko eke another authority for this view is in Kwabens 2 Karikari versus Ababio Supra. In that case, installation was held to be contrary to customary law and practice, and a nullity in that it was performed without the consent and concurrence of the relevant sections of the family. No na ke no ke komeko ye mu no na afi no ke me ke sanjin e ashi me akeshin to e na me ka to ame na agbaye ni ye hekuele mo ake atokule krapo mo ko efankule le nche weku ke mo ko efankule afe kokusu nko akule keke ne ake ni aje ku fe ni fi mi nke ne no yo mla mi e wo kesane ye alo wonu ni bi anhye aboti oni bi amina kase oni aso sande alo afo sande kefo mono na ke fiti omo ni eja no ni mla ake ni bi ye ni sani afe dani mo aye mu ke komepo na afe mo eye ko emu ake manche no je ni aje ko fe ni ke mla ni ke